Welcome back to another episode of the Cut Creative Class. I am here with Marjon Carlos, freelance writer, brand consultant, and everyone's favorite auntie.
I am an auntie to three little kids, and they're adorable. But I also feel like I'm an auntie to a lot of the kids in the industry. A lot of young people come up to me and they're like, Marjon, I need advice, like, can you offer anything? I field questions from my community every week on a particular subject, and then I answer the top questions on air. I had Quinta Brunson on, and we talked about ambition. I had my good Julie Wilson on there last week, and we talked about ageism and aging out. It's really fun. It's very cathartic. I hope that people are gaining some wisdom, and I learn a lot from it as well.
How do you stay consistent with your episodes, launch an Instagram for it, bring on an intern? Like, how do you stay consistent in these complicated times?
It takes a lot out of you, right? Because you know, like if you produce one of these, it's like having a kid. Like, you know, like what goes into it, and you're drained. So I had to say to myself, okay, only take on things that are really special from this point forward.
How do you think being a Black woman has impacted your journey?
When I was at Vogue, someone was like, don't you think it's really limiting that like you only write about Black people and Black stories? And I was like, actually no, because there's such like a vast amount of stories that we just aren't being told. So I think that definitely informed my lens and my perspective on things. And, you know, also something that I really observed when I was working at Vogue and other places is that, you know, for my white peers, they're not checking for us, like in a very particular way. Like their lens is very concentrated on likes, right? And so they didn't know about like Yara Shahidi back in like 2016. They were like, who's that? Like, you know, or like Zendaya's cute, I guess. And it was like a lot of that. And I was like, oh, like we just don't come up on your radar. And so as a Black woman, like I see other Black people and they're on my radar constantly. Like that's how this is how I think and how I move throughout the world and observe cultures. I'm trying to do something that's additive and corrective each time.
You've been speaking about diversity and inclusion in the fashion industry for years now. Do you feel like there's actually a shift happening now?
Fundamentally, fashion is based upon exclusivity. It's about the haves and the have-nots, right? I can afford this, you can't get this, it's so rare, I have it, I don't want it if everybody else has it. And that's literally what like luxury fashion is based upon. And we also know that that's cost prohibitive, and that means that a lot of people and a lot of POCs can't necessarily buy into luxury. That, you know, there's that point of entry is often kind of barricaded for us. And so that's what I'm really intrigued about and really interested about, because is this a long-term shift and a long-term change? I don't really know at this point, because I haven't seen a lot of change in mastheads. I haven't seen a lot of change in hirings. It's actually about conceding power and like whether they're willing to do that. And that is like the ultimate question. For fashion to change, the DNA has to change, and that's what I'm like really curious about, whether that's going to take place. I need to see more like major hires, and not just, you know, assistants and associates. I need directors. I need people in charge of departments. I need people who are going to be in the room to make major executive decisions, to say, you know what, if we put this out, that's offensive. If, you know, we can't have an all-white crew anymore. That's boring. That doesn't even reflect what the makeup of America. You know, who knows? Maybe we will finally see a fashion that's reflective of the actual general population, rather than just that 1%.
How's your quarantine been?
I don't know, there was a lot of creative abundance, but there was also a lot of turmoil. And so I was dealing with those ups and downs a lot. I don't know what tomorrow holds. And so it's kind of just like, just do it. There's so many things I've been wanting to do for so long, and I haven't pursued them for fear, or maybe the feeling that, oh, I have plenty of time. And now I'm just like going for it.
The whole energy has changed within the Black community that used to work in fashion 3 to 5 years ago to those who work in fashion now. Why do you think that's changed?
The young Black women that I see at Vogue today, Naomi and Akili, like those young women represent, you know, a future that I could have never imagined, even though that was like 3 years ago. When even that short amount of time, like, has seen a lot of evolution. Previous generations, they were thinking hard work. They only let in like a couple of us at a time. So it was pretty cutthroat. Now the generational shift is that no, where I'm not actually going to wait for gatekeepers to let me in, or to say I can sit at this table, or, you know, I can make a magazine or be an editor-in-chief. A lot of these people are saying, I'm going to make that opportunity for myself and my peers, and I'm going to bring them along.
What's your hope for the future generation of people of color in this industry?
Allow yourself some grace and just be kind to yourself, because I'm very, very hard on myself, and so maybe I was in my own way. And I think that's a lot of people's barriers to what they want to do, is that they're in their own way. They create excuses and reasons why they can't do something. Oh, you know, somebody already did that. I need more money for this. I need to do that. And really, I think it's about taking ownership of your own story, your own narrative. You know, I think that's what is always inspiring.